everyone, continuing on with my makeup collection. This one's going to be a little bit bigger because I have about 5 drawers. My last videos were at like 1 or so drawers. But this is just like my hodgepodge of my collections. So I do have some Makeup Forever. They used to have really good just like palettes to take things out. So I do have like a whole bunch of different colors, but I don't really go through so many of these. And they're just like a hodgepodge of like Too Faced, different ones that I had, but I did kind of like color code them just so that way I had like my nudes. So if I ever just want to go in to an actual color, I would say like depotting your palettes doesn't always work because I feel like I really don't go into these that much. But if you are interested, like a whole bunch of blushes, I should probably put that in my blush drawer. But sometimes when you're limited for space, it's nice. Oh, I'm trying to go in my browns. So I would definitely say like it just takes so much effort when you kind of depot. It doesn't always work that nicely. Rubbing alcohol will like help kind of remove the glue, but then like these little palettes still cost a lot. Not all the shades are magnetic, or like there's a magnet underneath. So my recommendation is don't depot things. It's never worth it. Unless you know like you're always going to go into things, then maybe it's not so bad. So continuing on, so from Ipsy they had their Betty Boop palette. It wasn't really my favorite. So I'm not too big into like collab palettes. I find sometimes they're not always as good. I won't kind of go into my single eyeshadows just because I have those really like separate and I don't really go into them. So I'm definitely more of a fan of palette. Pixie, they had their like glitter, Winky Lux, like an okay palette. Haven't really gone into it. I had my London or Butter London. Really, after like one time with it, it wasn't really my favorite. I did get like an e.l.f. palette with Shoppers Drug Mart that was like gift with purchase, which is really nice, but I haven't really played with the palette that much, but they're nice neutral colors. MAC little palette. Some of the colors, like, they just don't wow me, so they just kind of end up in a drawer kind of to die. Going into my next drawer, I have like my Kat Von D fetish one. So this was on sale, so I did buy it because one of the first things that I ever bought from Sephora was a Kat Von D palette. So it just has memories, but even some of the shadows are kind of coming up. And like it's just such an awkward shape. So when you start having more palettes, definitely the shape of them starts to matter a little bit more. I do have some of my Morphe ones. So this is with Morphe and Manny. So I did kind of pick a lot of these up like BoxyCharm and just on sale, and just because I'm a crazy person who needs things. So I haven't really played with this one that much. Morphe isn't really my favorite, so I have like a nice colorful one, but I do find just My Violet Foss is the ones that I'm going to go for my colors because I just find they last longer. Morphe I don't find lasts throughout my day. There's the Artsy palette. I do have like my Jaclyn Hill palette that I haven't really gone into, but I see on Pinterest a lot of makeup looks that I want to like kind of be like, okay, let's recreate them, see how easy they are. I do have like a little Physicians Formula and some single shades in, this was a MAC kind of palette where they have it on two sides, but again, like things need to be magnetic, otherwise they just fall. So kind of like the idea of the palette to go on either sides to make more room, not take up as much room, is nice, but the practicality of it is like it doesn't work. My Moods by Lorac, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I really haven't like touched it since. I feel like it's just so big for like what it is. I do kind of like those colorful ones. I think like a big part too, as like a disclosure, is like COVID, I haven't really been wearing makeup. So for like the last year, not really wearing makeup because I've just been at home. I have the Morphe James Charles, and I haven't really gone into it, but I like the different like colors and thought with it. I do have my BoxyCharm palette, and like it's like okay. I definitely prefer like an actual company than like BoxyCharm makeup, or if they do like Ipsy makeup. Like, I'm not really signing up for you, I'm signing up for the brands you work with. Touch and Soul, I have their Medalist. I didn't really like that palette, so I haven't really bought more from them. From Pretty Vulgar, their Nightingale. So I did get this, I think, part of BoxyCharm. I don't really go into these colors that much. And like, it performed okay. So some of them that you see I just have one of, is probably because like they're not the greatest performers. So even though like Morphe I'm like hit and miss with, like they're still kind of okay. You can get them on sale, which is really nice. Definitely never pay full price for a Morphe palette. Wait until they go on sale and all that good stuff. Oh, I'm trying to find spots where to put them back in. So I've just taken out my drawers. Next is kind of like I have some Scion London. So some of them I like the colors, they perform okay. So that's their Velvet palette. I definitely like this one, just like the glitter on top, so their Glitter Storm. And it's just like a simple kind of palette. I haven't used that much. Like Scion London's one where I'm like, a little bit hit and miss. NARS, because I got the Danger Control and I didn't find it that great. They are kind of like your almost like highlighter shades. So if you know a NARS palette out there that's really good, let me know. They're ones that are like, I try one of their palettes and haven't really liked, so I haven't really gone into it. Pure, they have Out of the Blue, where they have a little light. Oh, the light doesn't work, so I probably never really use the lights. And like, I get like the lights are supposed to kind of light up. So Pure is kind of nice because it is a little bit of like those cleaner ones. I have another Scion London, the Astral Lights Jeweled. So I'm pretty sure like I got this when it was on sale. I haven't really gone into it. I always hate when they put like stamps into it because I'm always like, I don't want to mess it up. From Pure, their Sylvie Diaries, probably saying that wrong, but nice like brown. I don't mind Pure, I just haven't really used that much of them. So I have their Be Your Selfie that I got, I'm pretty sure with like my FabFitFun. So Pure Pro, just some like basic colors. I do have my Wanderer Beauty, and this is their Seaside Escape. Again, it was one that I was like tried with a box, wasn't that fond of. Like it was nothing that like wowed me. My Storybook Cosmetics, so I definitely think if you like to display makeup, then this one's kind of like nice to display. It's definitely really big for storing your makeup. Nueva, so their Magic Mini. So when I visited my friend in the States, I went to Ulta and definitely kind of seen, so like this one I don't have as many with just because I can't always get a hold of them. I do have some BH Cosmetic ones. So I have the Kylie Palette, which is like a nice one. I like that they had like the highlights with it. Very like simple, kind of affordable. So BH Cosmetics is affordable. I find like you do want to use kind of your eyeshadow, what is it called? Like lotions, potions to help your eyeshadows like pop, like your primer, eyeshadow primer. There we go. So this is their festival one, and it's nice bright colors. They do have some like bright color ones. They have their neutrals, and it's nice that they have like shadows and blushes together, and they're very like, you get a lot of product and like it doesn't take up that much room. And then I do have Dominique Cosmetics, where I wasn't the biggest fan of this one, so I really never like went back into it, because you kind of see some things on like Instagram and you're like, oh, I need to try this, and then you're like, oh, that's not really the greatest. So going into more ones that I kind of like. So there's ones that I'm like, nah, and they kind of go on like the bottom of my drawer. So I kind of just have like those Rubbermaid kind of little drawers. I definitely need to get a little better framing, just to support the makeup, because it gets a little heavy. So from Physicians Formula, I really do like their butter shadows. There was like a gold one that they had I did not like, but their butter ones are really nice, that I thought like for drugstore they really are comparable. So do they have names? So Tropical Days and Sultry Nights. So I really do like them, and like I just think for your drugstore ones, definitely only buy them when they're on sale or some kind of discount promotion thing going on. I do have their Rosé All Play, which is like a cute one, having that kind of white iridescent mixed in, kind of splattered, right? Kind of keeping up with the trends. I do have like an e.l.f. Opposites Attract eyeshadow palette. I haven't really gone into it that much. Makeup Revolution London. So they're pretty cheap and not too bad for drugstore. My Zoeva Opulence. So I was just like, meh with this one. Sometimes it's just finding them a little bit of a home. I do have the Lorac Pro Palette, so it's a nice kind of, like, it just, to me, for like the price of this, feels really cheap for like the packaging. Like, I never want to pay more for packaging, but when I'm spending a lot, I just kind of like expect it in it. So they're a little tiny. I haven't really used them. Like, they're okay, but just because of the feeling of the packaging kind of makes me a little bit biased with it. My Barbarella eyeshadow palette, so a newer one. Haven't really had that much time to like play with it. A lot of like those light colors are kind of similar, and like the packaging always gets me because like I like my pinks and purple eyeshadow look, so this one I would go into and then I'd be like, oh, there's no pink and purple. My Beauty Bakeries Breakfast in Bed, so I like their whole theme. I think like their color payout isn't the greatest, so like they're buildable, but they're nothing like wow. And I wouldn't kind of buy their palettes. If I get them, then I get them, because they also have like the proof is in the pudding from them, and it's just because I think it was in my FabFitFun. But I do like the concept that the company has, and like the themes they put into them is cute. I have the Queen from Eloise. A Queen Lies in All of Us. So again, like nice bright colors to play with, come up with some great looks. So I definitely think even like if you have like kids, like don't just get them like the like drugstore huge set that's not good quality. Like still give them some like decent ones. I feel like if you want them to play with makeup, I can't even say it. Right? Again, like this is one where like the palette shape, like I get they want to be different, but it just makes it harder for storing. I do have like a Kylie palette, again, that I kind of picked up. I do really like the colors in it, but I don't think it's anything like amazing, but it's not horrible, right? Because sometimes those collab ones aren't the greatest. So going into like another collab one is kind of ColourPop, and this is Bretman, and he is his Wet and Lit. So I do like the theme of it. They're not like too bad, but not like the greatest. So definitely if you're in the States, I do think ColourPop is really good. So I do try and pick their things up. So it's like Take Me Home, so nice kind of simple ones. Elements of Surprise, right? A little pink in there. Always gonna kind of like that. Through My Eyes. It's a collab one. But I like how like the packaging, right, is green. They have some of those green colors. All I See Is Magic. Just some nice ones. This one's a little bit too like metallic-y with me. I do like kind of matte still in my palette. I do have like an Ace Beauty, or like I do want to do something with that orange, a nice pop. But sometimes I find like how much variety are you gonna get in a palette like that? I am missing a drawer. Oh gosh. So next are my Sephora Pro palettes. I was like, when I know I have things. Oh, and like a little one is like from Opv Beauty. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but like a small, compact little quad palette. That's great. So I have my Sephora Pro Palettes. So they do have like little name cards with it. I do wish the names were kind of like on it instead. So I think this is my warm palette. And I do think like some of these were a really good deal. So I think some of them I did spend like the $80 on it. Oh, but like you are like, it is a nice kind of palette. My new nudes, haven't really gone into this one, but I think I spent like $26, if not less, on that one. My cool palette, and like I definitely really liked this cool palette because at the time there wasn't a lot of other ones that were like cool tones. I do have my editorial, some of my nice colorful ones. So they are like, if you want a nice set, I do think they are still like a nice value. Some of the newer ones, so like my editorial 2.0, I haven't really gone into, but just like some of these blue colors at the bottom, I really do want to play with. I'm just gonna do makeup for whatever, because like makeup really does make me happy. I have my Smoky Jewels, that name, and this is where they did put the names on it, and the names are nice and simple for the most part. So I do think like some of the other little Sephora palettes I don't find the best, but I do find these ones kind of worthwhile. Ooh. And then some of my more like high-end drawer. So I do have my Fenty Beauty. So I do like this palette. It does perform nicely. On sale, I have gotten my Pat McGrath, where like it's definitely like a little bit of like a hype with it. Like they're still like good, but I don't know if they're like worth the price of it really. But like, would I buy it when it's on sale? Yeah, because they have good marketing. And I'm like, oh, I want it. You do kind of get like a lot of shadows. And then kind of my other expensive brand is my Natasha Denona, and BoxyCharm has had them, so I've been really stocking up, and it just makes me so happy. So I do like that they do have sometimes like they're a little bit cheaper palettes, so their Love palette, where I didn't realize some of their mini palettes are just like the same colors from there, so they do have that different price point, which isn't so bad, right? So everyone can enjoy it. But definitely those are like my colors. I love my pinks and purples. I have the Sunrise palette, which is nice. I haven't really like played with it that much. So I think like they're expensive. They might just not be worth it for the price. They might just be out of your price point. Like, do I want that? Or like some other ones that can be just as good. Right, it's a little bit. So this is one of their more expensive ones that I definitely did buy when it was on sale. And this is their Lilia. So again, those browns, but whenever I see it on sale and it's still like $80, I'm still like, oh, I want it. I do have their Cranberry palette that I have mixed with like a yellow on my eyes now. That's really cute. Got it with my BoxyCharm. How exciting. Another like BoxyCharm one is their Peak, and I think this was like a BoxyCharm like exclusive one. I have their Coral palette. So they have like their little bars that I think like are still kind of like expensive for like how much you're getting versus like their $85 palette. But then I think like this one is $170. I did not spend that much, but I still spend way more than what I should on a palette. I do really like that their mini ones are a little bit more affordable because I never really hit pan, obviously, because I'm a crazy person, have too many palettes. You don't need to tell me I'm crazy. I already know it. So I do have their nude mini, their mini tropic palette, and then their mini gold palette. And now I'm going to get into the eyeshadow that I haven't even tried yet. And will I still buy more eyeshadow palettes? Yes, because just like cheese and bacon, you can never have enough. So this is palette 5. And it has like some of those blues, so I'm excited to try that one out. I have their Ace Beauty, so I'll try this one again because I feel like before I was just like meh, but I do like some of those colors, like kind of want to do a pineapple look. I have my Hip Dot, so definitely if you're like, oh, I want more palettes, Charm, you can get them so cheap. So not only like in the box, but then you can buy ones that you want. So this is their note, right? So blues, greens. That color looks really pretty. I feel with like your blues and greens, you want to kind of go dark and smoky. Because sometimes otherwise you look like you're from the 80s. And I was going to kind of do that palette, but then just with my hair being a little bit crazy and that, I was like, oh, maybe it's a little too 80s. The Athena from Lorac Cosmetics, I got this with like my top box. They're really kind of like blushy colors, but it says eyeshadow palette. So like kind of like any of your eyeshadows you can still use on your face, really. From Pure Cosmetics, their Festival. Right, again, pink purple for some of those splash. My Orpha, where I was like, the green. Who wants green highlight? But it is eyeshadow, and that totally makes more sense. So I do want to try them out. Use that green on my eyes where it should be. I do have like a Fenty one. I just want to try all of their kind of makeup, see how their little palette compares to their big size. I forgot in my top box, I don't know if I mentioned this one or not, but I feel like it got buried in my try it drawer. So a little cute case, and it is plastic, so that makes it great for traveling with. So Too Faced is really good for like their sets. So you have their melted lip, and I do like their lip products. Their Cinnabar, where it has like their blush and their stuff together with a mirror. I always like palettes when they do have that mirror. It's really nice. We're almost there. Opv Beauty London. So I do like colorful palettes. How much I go into them is a different story, but I do like just like a little pop of color, you know, that yellow on your inside to pop a color. My eyes look like a petal, flower petal to me. Especially when like you're at home doing nothing, you might as well do some fun, colorful looks. I have Hank and Henry. So a lot of these are ones I picked up through BoxyCharm, just kind of cheap to like try out different brands. So again, they have like the owl faces to see how they work, because sometimes those colored ones, they don't last that well. So you'll have these bright colors, they don't last, or the pigmentation's not that great. Real Her, their volume 3, I Feel Beautiful. Right, just kind of a cool tone. Nothing really exciting, but it's cool tone, so I don't necessarily have that much. Like my Tarte Pro Palette. This is one that I wanted to try so badly, and it's just been in like, oh, let's do a look with it. But then the apocalypse happened. I have my Pure Festival 2.0. One thing I will say, like a lot of these I did pick up with BoxyCharm, and then I am like, I might have bought them again, not remembering I already own them for some of them. But there's like this Utopia color that's really nice. So definitely BoxyCharm, even if it's like one nice color, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Hip Dot, their Scion palette. So it's their pinky one. So pinky purples. Again, like there's that color that I don't really have in other things. So sometimes like one palette might make it worthwhile. I do have from Catrice, their Insta Babe. So again, it had like that kind of like iridescent mixed in with things. So I wanted to try out like drugstore ones. So this is definitely one that I've ordered before. I was like, oh, I do own it. So I'm trying to be better, trying to go through doing looks. So my Untitled London. So they're just like nice different colors that for the price of it with BoxyCharm is really why my palette collection has gone a little bit extreme. Who are you? Illuminati X Isabel. So collab palette. I think I just swatched some colors, but like what's ever in with this one, the oil has definitely like seeped into the cardboard and kind of stained it, where you're like, ah. But like I appreciate some like different colors, but still having transition colors in a palette. And then my last one that I have for at least now is a Marc Jacobs palette that I was like, I want to try. And then with BoxyCharm to get it, some of those like purpley colors, I was like, yes, why not? So like I definitely do have my like favorites. So definitely like my Violet Voss, my Huda Beauty, Anastasia, like I always kind of like. Too Faced and kind of my Tarte are like, they're hit and miss, but it'll still be like, okay, let me try this one out. So I definitely know I have a lot of palettes and things like that. I don't believe in expiry dates. Those are suggestible. If like they bother my eyes or smell weird or things are discolored, then like, yeah, don't use a palette then, because they do still have expiry dates. So you want to be mindful, like if you have like an eye irritation, like you probably shouldn't be dipping in and going into an eyeshadow palette and all that good stuff. But that's my eyeshadow collection. Thank you so much for going through with me. Please don't be mean in the comments. I know it's a little obsessive, but like there's things that people buy that they like, so I always try and get a good deal, and it definitely like makes me happy. I like playing around with eyeshadow. Trying different things is something that I like. I like talking about makeup. It's something like I'm passionate about, so I'm not trying to show these things to be like, oh, look how much I have. Like, these are just things that I like. There's other things that people like and want to express, and that's okay. I really think I'm gonna try and push out like happy vibes. Like if someone's feeling themselves and they want to like celebrate, let's celebrate with them instead of trying to tear them down. So please be nice in the comments. Like if you don't like it, don't watch. But I just wanted to show like different things. You might love a palette that I said I don't like, and that's okay, because we all have like different styles and trends. So I definitely, when I'm watching YouTubers, like if they're like, oh, I love this palette, and I was like, I really didn't like it, then I'm probably not going to have the same taste. Like, things are different for a reason, and that's what makes the world go round and what makes things great. What I might not like, someone else loves. What someone else hates, I might love. And it's just finding like what you like, what works for you, and all that good stuff. So sending out positive vibes to everyone. The palettes say bye. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. Bye.